Namaste, everyone, and welcome to February 2025. I am Master Lady Kira Raa, and I am so excited about this month's predictions, but I'm really excited about Lucas, and I want to introduce you to Lucas. Lucas is one of the guardians here at Tosa Blue Mountain. Lucas lives here, and not only is Lucas an extraordinary musician who's going to be introducing you over this coming year to beautiful instruments and inspired songs from Tosa Blue Mountain, not only will you fall in love with this extraordinary musician, he's also an extraordinary vegetarian vegan chef. So how blessed are we that not only does he nourish us with his music, he nourishes us with his soul as well. And so we are so excited. I want you to meet Lucas. I want to let Lucas introduce himself and what he's playing today. And I invite you to sit back, relax, enjoy some great music, and then we're going to dive into those predictions. Lucas, we're so happy you're here. Thank you, sweetheart. All right.
How are you, everyone? Hope you're doing great. I'm Lucas from Argentina and from many parts of the world. And now I'm here gardening this beautiful, amazing, sacred place with many magical features. And I'm glad to be sharing this with all of you. I love music. I'm an instrument collectionist. I collect instruments from all over the world. And this is a charango. This is one of my favorites. It's a very tiny string instrument from the mountains, from the Andes. And I'm gonna make it sound a little bit for you. Thank you for listening.
I hope you're clapping at home, and I don't know, I was over there, I had to wipe my eyes because I could feel the passion, and that's one of the things about these instruments is that they assist you to immediately start feeling the passion of the mountain, the passion of the people here, the passion of nature herself, and that's really what 2025 is about and what February is about. So Lucas, welcome to the family.
Thank you.
We are so grateful to have you here.
Thank you very much. In fact, what you said is very interesting because this instrument is the vibration of the charango, it's resonating in the heart. So like every charango player from all over South America plays in the heart, sitting here, and you connect with the vibration of the instrument. So I hope it worked. This is an instrument from the stars that now we can have it in the planet.
I love that. I love that. And you guys need to know, we did not rehearse that, nor did I know that ahead of time because
pure improvisation.
Truly.
I was making like an totally improvised song with the features of like the South American folk music.
There it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. And thank you because February is all about the heart.
Here
And it's
we are.
about the high heart. And I love that we opened with the music of the heart. So thank you. Thank you. Please relax and enjoy. And welcome, everyone. And I really do love that for those of you that were here to listen to Lucas. And if you were not here earlier and you're just diving in right now, I sincerely encourage you to please go back and watch from the very beginning and to really receive the gift of the heart of the Andes Mountains. And that this is what part of the guidance has been. This is what our monthly experience is going to be, is this sharing of the heart of the world, of bringing you once a month, not only to receive predictions, but to come together here at the heart of the world, sitting in a pyramid dedicated to peace at a time when humanity is deciding what it is. And let's breathe into that because it brings us right here, right now. So welcome again. I am Master Lady Kira Raa, and you are here watching the February 2025 Self-Ascension, Revelations, Predictions, and of course, Ascended Numerology. And if this is your first time here, if you have never connected with what's happening here before, well, I have been here at YouTube for over 20 years. And one of the gifts that YouTube has offered, certainly in my life, is the validation of the information that has been flowing through ever since the archangelic realm tapped on the shoulder many, many years ago in 2002 and said, wake up, this is why you're on the planet. And for 22 years, I held that energy with wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka, who is now Ascended Master Wisdom Teacher Sri Ram Ka, a beautiful Ascended Master in form who helped shape to make sure that these predictions, to make sure that every word that would flow through this vessel, that the ability to reverse age, the ability to reform the body, reshape the body, to call in all the cities, including levitation and all of them, he made sure that was attained through this vessel so that I could be here right now so that you know you can do it too. I am only on this planet right now for one thing, and that is to show what ascension in formed awareness looks like. To claim your divine mastery presence while you're still in this body of form. And our year, remember, we're just celebrating the Chinese New Year. We're just coming into what that's all about. And in the world of the Kanyari, to be in a snake year is extraordinarily profound. I mean, there's so much happening in the Andes Mountains right now. And so to have that energy coming in, to have this February energy coming in, which is at the end of the day, the essence of the high heart, not the physical heart, because we're at the moment where the physical heart can be easily manipulated. And so we are at that moment right now where it is about the high heart. And so when we really hold our high heart, that means that we have opened the ascended portal gateway of our divine galactic blueprint. And what is the divine galactic blueprint? It is that 12-pointed chakra system of the ascended being that enters and sustains through the heart, and key can only be sustained when we release the jealousy, the greed, and the competition. So in the relaxation out of jealousy, greed, and competition, and in the divine acceptance of putting our first, second, and third chakras into the stabilized essence of peace, love, and joy, then the heart chakra itself becomes the root center, and the high heart holds all of the codes, all of the mastery, all of your ability to command, because then you become the prayer wheel itself. So imagine right now I'm holding a prayer wheel. If you don't know what a prayer wheel is, go look it up. It's a Buddhist tradition. And the prayer wheel really came into me when I spent significant times with the Buddhist communities in Asia. And, there were the big ones, there were the small ones, there were the ones that were so gigantic you could barely turn it as you're walking by. Yet in the center of every one of those prayer wheels is consciousness itself, the living essence of I am as you are. To know that the inquiry of what in me invited this to be is the ultimate gateway to see it through the lens of all, as in the Bhagavad Gita, to see it the same whether you are in joy or whether you are in sorrow, the immutable remains and nothing can ever take that away. February is a call to essence. February is a call to that energy. February is yet again another choice. However, this choice is coming at a moment of commanding energy. Meaning right now, if you sit back and you do nothing, then a steamroller will roll over you. Because that steamroller is going, it has zero conscious awareness, it has zero consciousness, it's basically operating like an artificial brain. And what that means is that this is the year of the direct interaction. This is the year where I know I'm being called out of my own cave. You guys know I'm a hermit. And yet now I'm on my way to Europe because that much is happening. I would have never woken up and thought that this year would be calling me into this frozen north energy and to gaze at it. And after returning back from where I just was, to see the power of the ice when it doubles down. Ice doubling down. So when ice doubles down, what it's saying is, when that heat is rising, I'm just going to throw more water to freeze. I'm just going to make the ice thicker. I'm going to make the ice bigger. I'm going to dig into my positionality, right? I'm going to stay right there in the positionality. And by staying in the positionality, in that field of that frozen ice, what happens is that the heat that creates the flow, right? You need the heat to meet the ice, to give it just enough melt that it becomes this glacial kingdom, that it becomes this extraordinary blessing, that it becomes an energy of creation itself, rather than that which is frozen. And right now, the power of that is moving. And I was in Canada when the United States held their election. I was in the United States on the day of the inauguration. And now I need to be in Europe, in another northern location, because we need to be bridging all of those energies. Because the radiations, and that's why we're here in the Pyramid of Peace, because the radiation of peace right now is sitting, and it's seemingly very quiet, and it breathes a little bit, and then it sighs, and then it gets sad that its feelings might have been hurt, or it gets sad that maybe, oh, nobody wants peace as much as I do, or that does, or whatever. That's the complacency that has given the ice its absolute power. Because right now, in that balance of the north and the south, in that balance of the ice and the flame, right? What's happening is that the positionality has become much stronger because the heart has been manipulated. And I want you to really breathe that in. I want you to really take that in. So what does it mean that the heart has been manipulated? Well, in order for the heart to be manipulated, that means that love itself is manipulated. Now, if anything I'm saying to you right now is going like, whoa, Kira, what are you talking about, or whatever, please make sure that you know that Susan Sturdivant is in the live chat. So if you're in the live chat right now and you want to ask me a question about anything I'm sharing in real time, or you have a comment, put it there right now, and I am receiving those. Because before I would show you the calendar, and for those of you that are like, yeah, tell me, well, welcome to a show that actually cares about your conscious awareness. Because showing you just something without inviting you to really grow through the recognition of it is basically saying, I want to addict you to something. And whenever anybody wants to addict you to anything, there's always an ulterior motive, all hyphen ways, right? Whatever they want to addict you to, there's an ulterior motive. What if what I want to addict you to is the freedom to trust yourself? The freedom to really understand that, to know, the yoga of self-ascension is as unique as you are. Whatever your pathway is that got you here right now, thank you. Thank you for everything you ever went through. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for letting go of the arrogance of the spiritualized ego that every being must walk through. Because that's where our planet has arrived right now. This is who we are. This is where we're at. We are at a moment where the heart, because of the fifth and fourth dimensional overview, right? Well, I'll give you a quick overview on that in a second. But because of the fourth and fifth dimensional melding, and because of that folding, many people are getting into the fifth dimension. But when they get to the fifth dimension, what it does is it actually concretizes a spiritualized ego because it does wrap around a heart energy. Thereby, you become blind to your own arrogance. You become blind in your own spiritualized ego. And so in that experience right now, imagine breathing in the totality and the gift of knowing that in the embodiment, in this body, right, in the embodiment of informed awareness, you stand up out of that fifth dimension and you relax judgment and you discover a greater sense of all. The heart of the physical form then becomes available to be one with the high heart of the ascended chakras, thereby calling in a unified field. Now, I want you to really breathe that in. And if you think you don't understand me, don't worry about it, because you do. The you, capital U, understands every single word. And often people, when they're listening for the first time or new to this, you may feel tired. You might find yourself yawning a lot. That's because the frequency and the vibration of the energy that is being offered to you through me, through this vessel, is coming to you clearly without anything other than sincerity, love, and presence. And so when you're in the presence of that, it will often trigger many different things. So you want to drink a lot of water as well, because you might start feeling head expansion. And drink a lot of water. It's really drink a lot of water. Try to get out in the beautiful nature as much as you can. Because here's what's going on. And I'm going to go ahead and share with you now the February calendar. And the reason I want to share the February calendar with you is first and foremost because it is a shortly intense month. And that would be like the only way I can say that. It is a short, intense month. And so as you can see right here, I first want you to look at, like, relax your eyes and go into the field of the visual. And so as you relax your eyes and you go into the field of the visual, what you see is that there's this one creation side with all of these molecules and energies and vast forms of creation that are all coming together very, very in a feminine energy. And this is because of the equinox, because the divine feminine rising into that chalice experience of the March equinox, we're already in. This March equinox will be unlike any other has ever been. And so as we have this profound, powerful, very, very powerful feminine creation energy, we then have on the other side what is very much this masculine energy that is very benevolent, very still. Do you see that? And look at yesterday, look at February 1, or whenever you would be receiving this information. And you see that it was this beautiful, like, mirrored energy radiating through this benevolent masculine that is specifically really going to start amplifying on February 12th. Right now, we're in the energy of the release of that Jupiter retrograde, and that's going to be releasing on the 4th of the month, so that's coming right up. And so remember that when that huge Jupiter presence releases, and we have been under its influence since last year, it's really what begins kind of this, the way I want to describe it is like this pulse wave that's just like really, it's something you can't stop, propelling humanity toward the March equinox. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment, because the choice that we're at right now, the things that are happening on our planet right now, there's a lot of reasons behind them. And that's why I'm walking you into this. And so you see on the 12th, when we have that new moon, this specific new moon on February 12th is going to be all about spiritual expansion. I mean, it's going to be like your chest explodes outward, and it's just, everything like boom, 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 boom. And that will carry through fully until the 15th. So that's going to be the 12th to 15th of February. Remember, coming right up on us is that Jupiter retrograde release that's going to carry us through until the 12th. Then on the 12th, we're going to hit that new moon peak, which will begin on the 9th, but it's going to carry us all the way through into the 15th. And then what's going to happen on the 16th to the 22nd takes my breath away, because it's the power of that which is creating now. It's like it's that sum total experience. It's like everything that's been creating, everything that's been visioning, everything that's been weaving together. It's that week of trying it all on, bringing it together. This works, that doesn't work. This comes together, that comes together. All of it bringing us into that full moon, which leaves us on the last day of the month. And this is extraordinary, especially when we get to the ascension, the ascended numerology, because humanity right now, I would venture a guess that you are wondering at some point, when is this going to stop? How can this end? What is going on? I know there's many people, if you're, anybody who was, not raised with a computer, where computers came into our lives later on, this world is so vastly different. And for all those that are coming in now, imagine a generation that will never have not known AI, literally being born into the world of AI. And so the reason I'm bringing all this up is that right now, the battle for the dominion of your brain has never been bigger. Every one of the things that we're doing, we are now doing with live witnesses. There are people here in the pyramid, right? As you know, Lucas was here. We have other beautiful people here. And we're doing that because it's important to remember that we are in a moment where your brain, your physical brain, is capable of expanding exponentially because of the rising experience of consciousness being held by just enough that this field has opened. And this was very much in the work of David Hawkins, and that my husband expanded over 22 years, and we studied together, which is that as consciousness is expanding, as more are able to hold it, you don't need billions. All you need is just a few that are sincerely holding that frequency, and in that essence, the heart will stabilize. So I want you to really breathe that in, because we are commanding a choice this month. And we are already seeing these polar opposites. We are already seeing the ice and the fire. We are already seeing the polar opposites rising. We're already watching these that seem to be so opposite. We see that all coming together. So we're really seeing that happen right now. And what's happening more than anything is that I literally mean you are being invited to absolutely shift beyond where you have been before and to relax into that seventh dimensional frequency of non-judgment. Because it is in that corrupted fourth and fifth dimension, it's right there in those fields that this experience is happening. Remember that someone may be of a dogmatic faith tradition that has no idea what the dimensions are or what these energy frequencies are. That is irrelevant. And this is the mistake so many make. Do not make the mistake of believing that just because the language is different, that the energy would be any different. Energy is neutral. All energy is neutral. It's how we interface with that energy. It's how we create. It is the way that we carry it. And whether you believe in it or not is irrelevant. Einstein proved it, proves it all the time. Go through any of the theories that talk about quantum physics and the way that we exist. And you're going to start relaxing the mind, because we are, all of us, living in a potentiality that seeks to stop you from remembering. And when you do remember, it is a call to some of the strongest clarity and the greatest challenges you will ever face. Because when the planetary thought body is unified in fear, and when fear plus anger equals hate, then that becomes a pretty easy wheel to spin too, doesn't it? So are you holding that prayer wheel, right? Are you the one commanding that consciousness? Because in the template of consciousness itself, in the center is that pillar. It is the all that I am. It is the eternal, without beginning, without end. It is, Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu. It is all. It is the totality. And in that totality of that which has no beginning and that which has no end, we spin and can command that so that our physical, our emotional, our mental, and our spiritual are a command of consciousness itself. Or that wheel is spinning anyway, and we find ourselves stuck in its outer rims. because we are not aware of our ability to command consciousness itself. To step into that knowing is the energy field that transcends that which would keep you stuck, that which would keep you in a field that specifically wants you afraid. So how does that feel hearing that? I want you to really breathe that in right now. And remember, you can leave your comments, and I am receiving those all through Sue. And so I'm going to go to them right now, and then I'm going to come back and I want to show you the ascended numerology, because the ascended numerology really validates this and also shows humanity a pathway through this. So I do have some comments here. The first one coming in from Gary. Hi, Gary. Always good to hear from you. You know, the universe is an ocean. This planet is a beautiful coral reef. We are the fish, and God's the water, creating and holding it all together. Much love and namaste. And to you, Gary. Thank you, sweetheart. All right, Astaria. Hi, Astaria. Please share more about how the love was affected. Thank you. We love you. Okay, I will. And I'm gonna stop with the questions right now. So you want to keep putting them in, and Sue will be putting them up there for me. But I really want to go through this question, because it's really important to talk about how the love was affected. And this also goes into our ascended numerology. So it's a great question. There are many types of love when we take on our body of physical form. So in the body of physical form, we come in, this is our 12 o'clock hour. So when we think about this on the template of consciousness, if you think about it as a clock, at the 12 o'clock hour is our physical form. So we have our physical form at the 12 o'clock hour. And then what happens? The fall, right? Humanity's fall, whatever dogma wants you to hear, whatever about it. But what happens is that because the physical form immediately walks in screaming and with needs, it falls into what we call the emotional body, or 3 o'clock. So imagine that 12 o'clock falling to 3 o'clock. So now we're at a moment where the emotional body has taken over from the physical body, which is in of itself a divine aspect of that center of creation, that consciousness awareness itself, which is love in its purest form. So the way I like to describe it is that if I'm fishing, right, and I cast a line, and all of a sudden I catch something and it starts swimming, my line is going way out, and it's stretching and it's stretching and it's stretching and it's going God knows where. And unless I take command of that, I'm usually going to wind up having to cut it just to protect myself. Well, that's exactly your journey in conscious awareness and love, is that the minute we love so much that we come out of that field of that center of conscious awareness, and we step into a body of form through the sacred sequence of incarnation. And then once we hit that body of form, that love starts taking on an aspect of its totality. And we start seeking that totality all over again. And so our line goes from 12 to 3. And at 3, we find the emotional body, and the emotional body is where we develop and pay attention to the planetary thought body, because our emotions are coming from all that is around us. And that's when fear sets in. And when the fear sets in, then we begin loving to solve fear. And the minute we use love to take away our fear, it has been corrupted. And from there, it all goes downhill. Because literally, we give our power. We're now going from that emotional, which was at 3 o'clock, and we drop again. Our final fall, before we begin picking ourselves up, but our final fall is into the mental. It's into this. It's into the fixed ice. The brain is the ice, right? And so this brain just grabs a hold because it's in the 6 o'clock position. And remember, in ascended numerology, the 6 o'clock position is what? I can do it all. I'll do it all. I'll do it all. Get away. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do it all. Get away. Nobody can do it better than me, right? That's the 6 until they find balance. The 6 is the do it all. The 6 is the block of ice. And so in that position, what happens is that we are able to discover balance, because the mental body will take over. and it is in direct opposition to the physical body. So then when the physical body bypasses the emotional body, you got the mental body and the physical body going, yeah, we're going to lock in, we're going to lock in, we're going to lock in. And this is the ultimate self-sabotage right here. Mental, physical, oh, body hurt. Yes, this is why, this is what you must do. Rah, 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 rah. It's everybody. It's why pharmaceutical companies make so much money. It's why so many people are sick, because that's the lock. But then there's the other lock. And that one is a fascinating lock as well, because it's tricky and it's nuanced. And it's when we have the emotional body that's gone to the mental body, and the mental body is now finally saying, I can't take it anymore. Because what happens is that when the mental body has been in control for so long, it's going to get tired, it's going to get weary, it's going to start seeing things. And for many, and that's probably why you're here, it lifts you, and you start going, wait a minute, there's got to be more. It can't just be this. No matter what you're rationalizing, you're just unable to receive or to have these resolutions within. And so what happens? I call it the trampoline, right? You gotta jump on this trampoline, you gotta lift, and your eyes lift up and you see spirituality. And this is where many people become reborn in many ways. Frequently expanding a traditional dogmatic tradition in some way, sometimes not. However, what it is it's a new language. Because at the end of the day, it's all about language. Having lived in as many countries as I have, it's all about language. I have interfaced with over 30 languages. And when we can begin to understand the nuances of the languages, when we can live among, when we can understand that when I walk into a Kenyardi village, that's the language right there. That's the first thing they see, and they let me in. That says more than any gold or anything else. And so when we're learning a new language, as we do when we arise into our spirituality, the mental starts pulling that back in and going, oh, I'm special, I'm special, I'm special. Look at me, look at me, look at me, my ego, my ego, my ego. And that's when spiritualized arrogance and the spiritualized ego begin. Because we feel so much relief in learning this new language. It's like a form of therapy, right? So we feel so much relief in learning this new language that our heart and our love become manipulated again. And then we self-entrap right there, because instead of a all that is focus, we remain in a us versus them focus. And here's the irony, right? So it's a lift. It is a lift because you're lifting from the mental. So when we're lifting from the mental into the spiritual, it's a lift. You know, Sri used to do this so well, because when you look at the levels of consciousness, some things that seem contradictory actually do lift your conscious awareness. And that's the blessing. But here's the key. Go back to that fishing line. It's getting pretty taut, right? You're almost at that point where you might have to cut it, right? You're at that decision. What am I going to do? Am I going to get in there and I'm going to work this baby and I'm going to bring it in? Or am I getting my knife, cutting the line and giving up? Because that is what 9 o'clock is. 9 o'clock is that moment where the ego will be so gratified. It will love its language. It will feel so good that it will self-entrap. And then the mind will start self-entrapping. And usually this is where the victim energy comes in, because there'll be a lot of blame and things, and why it's always someone else and this and that, and why this didn't work out or that didn't work out, or it's that person or that whatever. That's when we're cutting the line. Or you stand up on the boat, you harness in, you grab it, and you command that conscious awareness and reunify. In that moment, when you go from that 9, and that's the big bounce, right? When you go boom from 9, because you have to soar, you have to fly. There is nothing other than crossing your own Grand Canyon in whatever way you need to. And when you do that, in that moment of arriving right back at 12 o'clock, everything dissolves back into consciousness itself. You become the commander. And all of that that's spinning on the prayer wheel falls into line in a way that sustains peace, love, and joy, thereby inviting the heart to expand ever more. So thanks for asking, Astoria. That was a really wondrous question, and thank you for allowing that to come forward. And again, if you have any questions, please put them into the Q&A. And I'm going to go ahead and I want to share with you the Ascended numerology, because The ascendant numerology for this month is extremely powerful. And one of the things that I do is I do not allow myself to go more than 2 months ahead. And part of that is part of why I'm not putting out a calendar this year, because I was clearly guided. The visions was just so clear that to put things out too far ahead right now is actually not of the highest as far as the information that I offer, or that is offered through me, because of the fact that right now we are in instantaneous. The law of instantaneous manifestation is here. It is available. It is happening. So really pay attention. Pay attention to your words. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to what you are moving with. And look, I'm sure you're looking as I've been showing it to you. First and foremost, I want you to look at the physical body this month. Is that outrageous? Look at that. And what I'm loving is the 4, the beingness. That is, you see that. Everything this entire month is about bringing it right back into the physical body at the traditional root center so that you feel the gift of safety, so that you feel the gift of peace. And that's where we wind up. And that's why I want you to see it, because that's the journey we're taking this month. We are getting ready on that full moon of ascension awareness on February 28th. When we arrive back into that 4, it's like this huge anchoring of I am. I am. I am as you are. There is a sense of safety. There is a sense of peace. And that's the intention of this month. That's the blessing of commanding, is that it takes you away from being whipsawed as part of the victim energy, and you become the commander. So when you look at the month itself, it's the 9, and I spent a lot of time talking about the 9, didn't I? What is the 9? It's our high heart. And our high heart is getting it's like a bell. We hit it a lot of times this month. And this is why it's really important to pay attention to that high heart energy, because high heart energy collapses if the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd chakras fall out of peace, love, and joy. So when you gaze at February 4th, that Jupiter retrograde release, look where it is on the physical body. Lotus chakra. That means the universe is showering you. Whatever has been constraining, whatever has been stuck, whatever has been in your lotus chakra, whatever you have been visioning, looking at, bring it on, especially right now, especially after the 4th, especially as of Tuesday. It is all systems go. It's like this holding pattern. I have even found myself, I'm behind in sharing how many wonderful things are happening this year, because there's been like this holding pattern until this Jupiter retrograde releases. And then it's like, go. It's all over. And this is what that is really showing us, that 8. And when you look at the lotus chakra, remember, the lotus chakra is where we carry our violet ray energy. It's the fifth dimensional experience. And it's about that 5th dimensional experience in its highest form. Because that 9, you see the ring and 9 there, that 9 is where spiritualized arrogance and ego can amplify. So remember that while the journey this month is about arriving in that beautiful peace and safety, that just the opposite can happen for others who are unaware and choose not to see. Because this is all about the 1st chakra of the physical body. That's where we're going to wind up this month. And that's where the ascension awareness will anchor, which is fascinating, don't you think? And so now let's look at the 6. Remember our 6? I am the ice cube, I can do it all. And so if we look at the 6, that's the new moon. That's the new moon that's upon us. And when you look at where the 6 is on the body, it's our 2nd chakra. It's birth. We're birthing. We're creating. What are you filling your centers of creation with, knowing that the lotus chakra has opened? Do you see what an extraordinary month this is? This is a month where the universe has come down and said, if you really are clear, and if you're ready to be in the peace, I mean, truly in the peace of the acceptance of I am as you are. If that energy is around you at all, then this is the month where you're going to find a beautiful dance that will bring you into a command. And this is why it's so important that you really give yourself the gift of being in spaces that bring you joy. I really want you to think about being here in March for the equinox. Just book your hotel right now, tosabluemountain.com. Get down here, because the goddesses that are coming, the ceremonies that are happening, the benevolent masculine energies that are appearing, this is a moment of the unified field. This is the moment for you to make a choice, because February is a month of choice, and that's why I'm sharing all this with you. At the end of the day, it's your choice. It's always going to be your choice. However, the universe is saying, look, we're gonna lay out this buffet, right? And you can go look at this whole buffet, and here's everything that's on it. What do you want the rest of your life to look like? Because that's what we're in right now. We're in a literal, if you were to say, if humanity is in a bucket list moment, we really are. And so if humanity is in a bucket list moment, then what would be the energies on that bucket list that would sustain humanity through this moment rather than degrade humanity through this moment? And that, of course, brings us back to consciousness itself. So I want to share with you, especially in this month of February, something that I haven't shared in a while, and this is the pyramid of spiritual awakening. This field within this. Shri and I first, at the behest of the Archangelic Realm, we first put this out, the pyramid of spiritual awakening, in 2004 to the world. It's in our books. And this expansion came in 2019, which was when you see the waves. And it's this waves and this air and these channels and portals of energy that every one of these experiences has its own entry, kind of, like you enter the pool, and then there's that, I'm getting used to the temperature, I'm swimming, and then there's that, well, what am I doing in this pool and where am I going? That's what this is really about. And so if you gaze right now at these mastery experiences, if you move up to where it says ascension awareness and all that is focus of peace and spiritual joy, that is where that full moon is bringing us on February 28th. And that is an opportunity and invitation, because February is the preparation for this year, because this year will not begin until the equinox. Everything that's happening right now, from whenever any New Year bell rang until we get to that equinox in March, it's all cleanup and preparation. Cleanup and preparation. So in cleanup and preparation, find your joy. What are you preparing for? What is inspiring through you right now? What is the joy in your life that calls you forward? And then to really be present with that. And so I'm going to go back over, and I see that we have a comment from Bhatya. And again, if you have any comments or questions, just put them in. And Bhatya is saying, my time in Ecuador was my divine appointment. Thank you, Master Lady Kira Raa, for taking such good care of me. The erase has been helping me through this time. Well, thank you for the reminder. That's a really good reminder for all of us. And let me remind all of you, especially if you're right here at this YouTube channel, official Shri and Kira, type in erase and watch that video. It goes back to what I was mentioning earlier. That is, we are in a moment where the battle for the dominion of your brain has never been larger, where the opportunity to soar is yours. Humanity is at a choice point like it has never been at before. Our 12 o'clock hour is the physical. So everything that is at physical right now is in our 12 o'clock hour. And so if you're at your 12 o'clock hour, what is the choice you want to make? What is the life you want to lead? I encourage you to dive into the Yoga of Self-Ascension more. Visit masterladykiraraa.com. Come forward to this YouTube channel often. Check out Expanding Consciousness, my weekly podcast that really dives deeply into what's happening right now. Because surrounding yourself with the expansionary information, the encyclopedia of consciousness, which is what my show Expanding Consciousness is about, go in and explore and learn more. Surround yourself with that which is not generated by AI. It may not be quite as sophisticated, but that's the point. You know it's real. And to give yourself the gift of remembering you. You are here right now, and you found this moment, because February 1, 2025, we have begun another cycle for humanity. And by the time we hit the equinox, the world is going to be very different again. Your heart is calling you to command it to be the prayer wheel. I am the prayer wheel, and I am as you are. And may your heart know that I love you dearly. Perhaps it's a moment where everything inside of you is saying, what else do I need to know? Then I invite you to find out. Visit TosaBlueMountain.com, visit MasterLadyKiraRaa.com. Go deep within yourself. Take in a deep cleansing Ave Saw breath. Exhale out. And know that in this moment, right now, you are here because it matters. Your conscious awareness has already invited you to expand. Now, what are you going to do? It's Christmas morning, you run down, presents are under the tree. Are you going to open them? And then if you open them, are you going to play with them? What are you going to do? Because your presents are before you right now, and February is that month. I encourage you to please listen to this again. Send this station to everybody you can. We grow only one way, and that is organically. And so we love you. I love you. And from the Pyramid of Peace, which I'm going to give you a nice, beautiful look of, is that amazing? There you go. So from the Pyramid of Peace, and from the center and the heart of the world, here in Ecuador, I am Master Lady Kira Raa, loving you and honoring you for being. Many blessings, and namaste.